welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the old world. We're live. I'm one of your hosts, Gomo. I'm back with Andrew Josh, sponsored by Element Games. Finally got the logo sorted. How's everyone going?
Yep.
Third live stream. Or second?
Right.
Third.
Love the opening energy there. Come on, that was a really good.
Oh,
a really
come
good.
alive.
This is
Dead
fantastic.
before it starts. It's the only way to get going. Got coffee today, not alcohol.
Ooh.
It's been one of those days. Yeah.
Stimulant.
Anyway, we got some
Yep.
comments already. Justice justice for Josh. What is this? Is this about last
Justice.
week's? Just getting gained by all the haters.
I think it's relating to this one.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm going in reverse order. Probably
Justice.
MC Wong 70. Yeah, how come that? Yeah, it is. Sorry,
Thanks,
that
Michael.
thumbnail
Thanks.
I put together
Michael's looking out for
an
Josh.
hour before the live stream. What time do you call
That's-
this? Perfidi?
I do not care.
9:09. Yeah, we are. Yeah. It's very organised today as usual.
Yep.
But I think you think monthly live streams would be like well prepped, but they somehow crop up on us within about 2 hours. We go, oh shit! That's
It
what
ends
this
up
week's
being
supposed to be live
It's the
stream.
same level of prep as normal.
In our defence, we tried this time, didn't we? We put out messages to each other almost a week ago about the topic today,
Yeah.
and then really didn't do anything on it, which is kind of
Oh,
fun. But
thought about it.
we probably did individually, but yeah. it's
Yeah.
fun. Who else we got here today? I got Cam's obviously going to bed, but he's pretty excited for the High Elves. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit of High Elves today, and poor Cam's going to miss out because he's got to go to bed. That's fair enough. He's got
Yep.
important work on, I'd assume, tomorrow.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit because we got some news. I guess this week we'll get a little bit more of those almanacs. I think this one wasn't really an almanac, was it? It was more just this is what you can buy, order.
Yeah.
Pretty funny that some people are going to get the pre-orders for High Elves up in Australia. Actually, no, we're delayed, aren't we? Oh, crap, that's right. So it's not going pre-ordered this week, as usual. I was going to say, we're almost getting pre-orders before we've even got the Empire stuff back here. It's like,
City's
yeah,
hot.
look, Perfidy's. I'm so hyped for High Elves as well. Man, they're obviously popular. I just got smacked with them.
They're one of
last
the
week.
most popular
About
factions,
that
of
one.
course. Massively popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible they've waited this long to release them, really.
Elves in general, aren't they? And there's been zip.
Elves are always, there's been
Yeah.
no elf, you're right. There's been no
Yeah.
elf releases at all.
Yeah.
They are typically their most popular faction. One of them isn't even in the game.
Yes.
And if Danny had his way, would be completely removed from the game, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost. that counts.
I'm pretty sure he was
Yeah.
making a joke there.
I feel like,
Pretty sure.
Andrew's weird because he plays dwarves and elves, and then dwarves, probably don't want us. They've got a bit of a
Mortal
love-hate
enemies.
relationship.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm trying to mediate. I'm just in the middle.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Purvis says he suspects the most popular faction, certainly the most popular good guys. I wonder if that's true. I don't know. I mean, maybe it is, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not a question, but I wonder if it is. Do you reckon it in the big long scheme of all the
think it
fantasy
is.
editions, it eclipses even Empire and stuff as well, and dwarves? Do you think?
Oh, it'd be
At least
close.
High Elves, I'm talking about, not
It's so hard
elves.
to call.
added
Just
together.
High Elves.
I mean, the fourth ed box would have helped.
Man,
get
Empire's
that
popular.
initial thing, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. That's an
Yeah.
interesting.
I feel like
one.
Brett's. I don't think Brett's would be. Brett's had a renaissance with all this release and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah,
So in terms
Yeah.
of humans, it'd be Empire, but then are they more popular than High Elves? Or I reckon High Elves would probably be, but
they might be. They might have been
I
because
reckon
of
they do.
eighth, because they
They were
especially
really
that
good in
box
eighth.
set. Yeah, and then
they were a
obviously-
bit so in sixth ed, which I think affected their popularity in that era
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got to be on balance, really.
Yeah.
One of the most popular armies. Oh yeah. Doctor Who
Seems
says
like-
Dark Elves have to come back timeline wise. The Fanuvial plane battle happens soon.
So many
It's
elf
very good
bands.
optimism. I know.
Mm.
Lots of elf
Yeah.
chat tonight.
they've got some well they've got room to move on this storyline if it bloody ever moves. We just have to we just have to wait to we're getting close to getting all the books out. Once that's done, I think we'll see some movement, hopefully. Like in terms of timelines and new stuff, this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think, Cam's, we will talk
Cam.
about it. Cam's saying hype Biv too. So Andrew, myself, and Cam are catching up on Thursday to chat all things Biv, which is Battle in the Vines, which we're going to try and resurrect this year as a one-day, at this point, a one-day tournament. Don't know if I'm supposed to say anything more, but yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully,
somewhere in the Newcastle area.
The chat in that WhatsApp group is very intriguing.
Yeah, and obviously Josh is involved, but he's obviously not up here, so it's a little bit.
I'm very peripherally involved. At this point, I don't even know if I'll be able to make it up or not.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, especially for
So
one
really,
day, it's really like
peripheral.
Yeah. Classic.
There's only so many interstate events I can sort of budget a year.
Yeah.
For my hobby.
Get past the gatekeeper. There's only so many.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I struggle to get to them, and I don't even have the child issue much anymore. But it is what it is. You just get busy. What else have we got here? I'm just going through these comments.
Josh is involved. Yes, carry on mixed stands. This is going to be his recurrent joke now. Is mixed stands on my head forever.
I'm deliberately going to make some funny thumbnails now. Going
great. Great. My face is going to be obscured for every thumbnail for the live stream from something.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay,
we can maybe
you've
give
got
away
to tell, where are you from, Perfect? He says, can you do a competition where the winner gets an all expenses paid trip to Biv? I'd love to come, but it's an expensive flight. Well, I'm all for raising the ticket prices and making this a pretty, a
schmick
event, but I don't know about that. I think they might be pushing it.
Yeah, he's from the UK. Yeah, that'd be all the budget to be going into this one competition. End up at a
we would love to. We'll see how we go. Not sure. Cool. Oh, well, what have got on, man? This is a lot different to our normal stream because now we're having to answer questions out of
Isn't that the point of the live stream? Isn't that literally why we're doing this?
That's right. It is generally, but they. What I'm going to do is lead into our topic by thanking our Patreons first, because I think what happens is we had some Patreon questions from last week that got. I said. It's almost a topic of itself, and it was a topic we were going to start bringing up. And there's two, I'll call them questions / observations that were brought up by some patrons that I think just tie into what we wanted to chat about in the main first half of the episode. And then, like usual, we'll keep rambling and cover hobby and some news. And did you say you had other stuff, Josh? Or you were talking about hobby when you said you've got things to talk about?
It's not massive stuff, really. It's
But it's just around the hobby time, or you want to do it in another?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, no worries. Cool. Anyway, well, just before
Sorry
I
for
will.
being fake.
Nah,
I didn't mean to be fake.
Oh, good. We will kick off. What was that one? You got to put that up before I get
Josh. So Josh said, the Battle in the Vines sounds awesome, but I think the Hunter Valley gets enough drunken whiners without me turning up and getting white girl wasted. Nice.
What? Is Josh Victoria? Is that Josh? Is that someone that's down your way, Josh, or not?
I'm not sure.
Where's Josh from? I can't remember. Okay, anyway. Well, I can't keep up with these. You guys will have to.
Well, he's a minor. Maybe he does live around Newcastle.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I feel like if he's Victorian, he wouldn't know.
True. Must be. Yeah. Oh, no, he's saying UK, though. Oh, no, I'm getting confused. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Don't worry about that. Okay, let's get on to thanking our patrons.
So I feel like Victorians wouldn't say white girl wasted.
Yeah, that's For those who don't know, thanks for coming on. Thanks for obviously watching our live stream. But it is only enabled because we've got a patron over there, and a bunch of these people here are probably patrons as well. I don't always marry up the name and the nickname on patrons, so Patreon. So sorry about that. But if you're first time watching us, we do have a Patreon over on patreon.com/oldworldfanatics. We do have a pretty vocal private Discord channel happening over there, and they're sending us questions, which again, like I said, we'll probably cover a little bit into our main topic today. But yeah, just wanted to give them a big shout out, like, subscribe on YouTube, all that sort of stuff. And you do get me an awesome red shout out halfway through the show of all our patrons. We have a new one this week as well.
Great.
So I want to say a big thank you. And I will try and not, we'll see. I'll try and do something different. So Jelly and one of our other patrons don't get merged together like sometimes I do.
Oh,
Jelly.
I was really hoping for some hardcore merging this week. Just really, really lean hard into it.
We'll see. We'll see what I feel like when I get there and start reading it off.
Yeah.
But what I will do, let's bring up one of the two observations / Sean. So he's our resident elf. He did our high elf actual faction focus way back when. We'll have to do another one soon.
Yes. Get the master back on.
Actually, I'll throw another question up quickly. Jarrett Kruger said also high elf arcane journal focus when? Well, when we get sent the faction, the arcane journals first, we will definitely do them.
Yeah.
Right now, we don't even get them. So unfortunately, I don't know when. I'm sure we'll do one though, because Andrew, you're going to be pretty keen to chat.
Oh, I can't wait. Like I'm amped. Hopefully it won't be as, not that the dwarf one was bad, but it didn't. To me, it just didn't change the tactics up a heap.
And the Empire's a bit like that too.
So it would be good to
give you some play the armies of infamy.
Yeah, well, you can play them. Yeah, just be good to have like a bit more of a, almost a completely different feel to play that armor.
Yeah, I think the most exciting thing about the arcane journals is all the extra magic items that come with it and stuff, because it sort of adds that difference. Even the dwarf one got the tattoos. So that's
No, there was definitely some good stuff, and it gives you some further options and buffs. But
but I'll bring that up. But Sean brought up this last week, which was, and I can't fit them in here, so this is just his first sentence, and I'll read it out on my other screen here. But he just said, how much enjoyment do you get from the actual game mechanics themselves while you were playing? Coming home from playing at club tonight, I realized I would have had a good time playing any war game, and in fact, the game of Old World itself was a bit boring. He played dwarves versus wood elves, which I guess maybe. I'll just blend into his next sort of like an observation. And then not a podcast question, but a discussion for the group. He said, does Old World provide a depth of tactical choices? I'm starting to come to the conclusion that while I love the setting and models, the game is a bit boring in a way 6 wasn't. Is this because almost every game comes down to countering overpowered Death Star dragons while preserving points? Would either points balancing or scenarios be a solution? Now, I don't know. Wouldn't mind touching a few little things there, but without giving away the whole main topic, because I've also got Gilthos's comment there. What do you... I mean, we don't have short on, so I'm not sure. But what do you mean when he said a bit boring in a way 6th wasn't? Do you reckon that's just what he's saying in terms of you weren't obviously counteracting massive dragons in the...
I think that's...
It's pretty much that. There wasn't anything else. It's not like 6th had... Because when I think about 6th, my negative of 6th, and it's not even a negative, it's just when I was playing 6th, having played 8th, I missed, especially like in Empire, I missed demigriffs, and I missed like some of the new stuff that 8th brought, and suddenly you felt like it was like it was lacking. Even the Tomb King stuff.
Well, Empire list was not great.
Necro Sphinxes, all the cool models I had in 8th, suddenly I didn't have them. And it wasn't because 6 is a bad game. So it was weird when you look at it from a different point of view. It was almost like, well, 6 felt not boring, but it felt like limited, even though I thought the actual game was awesome and well balanced. So I remember saying years ago, it'd be cool if they could add some of the monstrous infantry and monstrous cav stuff in, but then it would probably break 6, so you probably couldn't. But what do you guys think? Is that any thoughts on that without answering the whole thing, because we're probably going to go into it in detail?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, it comes down to he's probably playing a lot of similar lists where he feels like it, where he is playing against a lot of dragons and that kind of thing. You do a lot of work for those armies that they're fielded, and then it sort of becomes the center of the battle. And it's then suddenly it's less about maneuvering blocks of troops to get flanks and that type of thing, which is typically, like, spiritually it should be the essence of the game. Where mobility is highly prized, but once you open that box of those very powerful, highly mobile small units, and skirmishers are probably sort of in a similar boat in some ways, some of them anyway, peg knights. It does sort of break the rules of the game, and breaking the rules of any game is powerful, but when it's freely available and easy to access and quite common, that does changes how the entire game feels. I don't think the rules are necessarily bad. I think it's just I think it comes down to,
I mean, realistically, let's be honest, the rules aren't that much different from 6th, 7th,
no, not
8th.
really.
Like, I mean, like, in terms of, like, there's all these little things on there, and there's obviously confusions because we've played 6th, 7th, 8th. But ultimately,
I mean, they're definitely more complex, but not like deal-breakingly complex, and you still get a nice, a really good feeling rank and play game out of it. Absolutely. In some regards, it's a better game. And 6th Ed also is broken if you play it at a whack level, we are playing the old world now. You can make 6th Ed feel shit. It is very doable. But just that community, and sometimes people's memory of how that game was played as well, gives a different impression.
Rose-colored glasses or something, or is that what you mean? Or
I think so. I think so. Like memories of playing it back in 2007, but also just maybe if you're playing it recently, you're playing against people that aren't playing it intensely.
Yeah. No, I think, you're right. The crowd is different. Yeah. Sorry, you go, Andrew.
On the chat, the guys had some good points, which I think Josh sort of alluded to, and I'm sure you'd know that too. Gomo was obviously you didn't have the internet and access to, everybody talking and everyone doing bat reps and then like working out what the meta is. Because there were some very strong lists in 6th edition, very strong armies that, did have to get sort of counted or nerfed at a comp level sort of thing. Because obviously with you guys, that Seaguard list that I went up against, like obviously you guys nerfed that. You were saying that obviously, tree singing and whatnot for High Elves. There just seemed to be like there were some real dominant lists that maybe people weren't taking because 6 wasn't at that point where everyone was trying to meta it. Like it was just more of
and it had all the extra bits that now everyone does take, but back then, like, I don't know, it was everything, it was all those, what's that dwarf one? The Ungram Iron Fist list is pretty gnarly as well and stuff like that. And if
there was heaps.
Yeah, if you run into it, you're not prepared. You basically
some of the magic had to be nerfed. Like some of the magic was like really, really strong as well. Like a myriad of things.
We're smashing up. We've opened up a can of worms here, Sean.
I don't know if you saw that.
Horus the War Master's on the wrong podcast here, but I do like that.
This is the sequence of comments I put on, but the conclusion basically was no more internet. Let's probably shut this podcast down as well. Like, let's just less discussion the better.
Turn it into a forum or an e-zine.
Web
back then.
E-zine.
Was it an e-zine?
I don't know.
I don't know. Magazine, easy.
Oh, yeah. I love those.
That's really
cool. Wasn't it Total Power or something? There was one called Total Power.
Yeah. I think Perfect's a good point. He does miss Lord Hero Special and rare slots. I mean, there are still slots in the game, but maybe it's not so much the fact of slots, but it is having to make difficult choices in list construction. Having to pick a level 4 or a combat lord or that type of thing. I think that's very much a theme we've discussed in the past, and that's totally valid.
I can't keep up with these. This is so. How does Rob and Val do this for the live stream when they've got like 10,000?
Eugene Sheffield. Eugene Sheffield's here.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. We do not have the ability to manage this. We don't have any experience to go through this. This is chaos.
Anyway, so I will. Let me. There was one more point. Oh well, actually, sorry. Can I just bring Sean's thing back up because I thought we technically didn't answer I like there's a fundamental question here too, which I'd love to get your opinion on because it'll lead on to what we're going to talk about. How much enjoyment do you get from the actual game mechanics themselves while you're playing versus just, he made that comment about playing any war game. He would have had fun. And in fact, the old world itself was a bit boring. I mean, where do you guys stand? Like, obviously, I mean, where do you guys stand on that in terms of, I'd almost say, how do I say this? Like, could old world be anything and you would still play it? And Andrew's probably more inclined to answer one way versus Josh there, maybe, because I feel like Josh is still playing Sixth a lot. But you know what I mean? Like, is there a version of old world or whatever they brought out, Games Workshop brought out Rank and Flank?
Oh,
and
regardless
put it on us,
of
would have you been sitting here a year later still at least playing / engaged in the community?
I don't think it's garbage. Like
you mean like if it was terrible rule set? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, whatever they put out, as long as it was Rank and Flank and Warhammer Fantasy, would you be sitting here on this podcast? Like, would there do anything where you'd go, "That's fucked, I'm leaving"?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, that's interesting. Like, as in Warhammer Fantasy, I don't think there is for me. I reckon I would probably still be involved in it, which is kind of funny.
Like, you mean if the game was terrible?
So it's not about the game for me.
It's
really.
So putting aside so you're saying like the theme and the structure, like you've been Rank and Flank, you tick those two boxes, and then the third box is bad rules. You tick it, and you're like, I don't care. I'm just going to play it anyway.
Yeah, I don't care, and that's probably why I didn't last with Ninth Age, and I don't play.
Interesting.
I buy Horus Heresy and it ends up in a box. Do you know what I mean? Because you could argue, and 40k is more popular and it has a better story, still ends up in a box. And then when 8th died, I walked away from wargaming, and then when this came back, I came back. So there's obviously something from my point of view where I look at it. I come from a place where it's like,
GW loyalty.
Identify with it. It's not even joy. It's Warhammer Fantasy is so ingrained in my identity as a kid that I'll want to take it to the grave. As long as it's the Warhammer Fantasy, and AOS wasn't it. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a whole new universe, and it just screwed me around.
But you still
different to Sean because like, like 6.
You were playing 6, then now you've gone to the old world. So it just seems so you want to follow the current.
Well, it's only because I played 6 because it was old world was coming. That's the only reason I started looking around at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Right. I mean, I guess I want to play Warhammer Fantasy, and I feel like I can still play whatever version of that that pleases me.
Makes you fancy.
Yeah.
Is a purist, Josh.
As long as there's people that are going to play with me.
But like Andrew, you've played a lot of Ninth, and you play competitively. And would you ever do? We've seen a few people coming along and play Old World and then leave.
Yeah.
Like go back to Kings of War, or is it the game for you, or is it?
I'm somewhere in the middle. I do like the setting, and I do like where it's at. I just think, and I'm sure a lot of people are, like, if GW was just feeding you absolute garbage and then just did not seem to put effort in, I'd definitely bug out. But they do seem to be putting some effort in. Might not be putting in the most balanced game, but they're actually, seems like they're trying to sort shit out. So I'm happy to support it. Where we're at, I think it's in a decent spot.
Oh, cool. That's it.
Yeah, they're absolutely putting out new releases regularly. You're right, they got those FAQs. They're actually, some of the effort's slightly misplaced, or like you could criticize it, but the level of effort they're putting in is impressive. I agree.
Yeah, especially right now when we're about to get High Elves, and then we're already seeing leaks. Yes, we did see someone else posted somewhere. Who was that? Going back in the chat there about the Wood Elf leaks. We've got a picture of that up in news. We'll chat about that. Yeah, we did see that. So, I mean, I think that was sort of our rumor ages ago that most of this stuff's done and printed, and Arcane journals are printed. Remember, we were making those comments a few months back where it's like, nothing in the Arcane journals is going to balance the game because they've already done. That was my thing. They were already.
I think it's a valid theory. Yeah, I reckon.
So and they know what they've been pumping out and what metal figures are coming back, and
and it feels right because there's been no power creep out of the Arcane journals. Like, it's not like some of them have varied slightly in power,
Yeah.
But it's not like each journal coming out has been ever more powerful or anything.
The closest I would say is the road wardens for the Empire. It's almost like they went, oh shit, we really fucked those pistoliers up. What can we do? Let's just re-release them as road wardens. We'll put crossbows on as their main thing, but yeah, you can still buy a brace of pistols, and then you basically got good. And we'll give them ballistic skill 4. So that's the only thing I thought. Oh, hang on, did that entry come in like
what's with the PS4?
at the 11th hour? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool. Yeah, what did Perpsy say? Yeah, it'd be amazing if anything for the initial release cycle wasn't essentially set in stone at release. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. And no, do not shut up, Perfidi. Keep sending them in. I think it's good. They probably have to ignore 90% of the comments as well. He said that was my comment about how to know how Rob and Val keep up. But we did have a question. This is going to lead on. So if you haven't cottoned on, and maybe it'll be in the title if you're listening to this back, we chatted about this the other week, where the topic today is comp / it's not how to fix old world, because I don't think it's broken. It's just we are going to hopefully bring Biv back. That's the plan, and we're going to run our own tournament. And so the question is, if we're about to release our players pack, what would we do? And it can go a bit further than that too. We can have a discussion about, is there things you actually do need to fix in the game? What would we do? That sort of stuff. So we wanted to have a chat about that. Feel free to send your comments in and things we need to fix, but we might have to sort of skim over them so we can actually get ours out without getting too influenced. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. But Gilthos did sort of pipe in last week about that too, saying, yeah, what was that?
First Sean and then Gilthos in the same week.
Yeah, it's a bit of a depressing question.
Hell.
Yeah. They're both pretty competitive, these two, though. So I think, this is partly it, probably. He said, well, I have to say after a year, I'm getting slightly frustrated with the Hero Hammer Warband game. Too many of my opponent's armies look like a hero and a small group of friends. Nothing like an army. I'm going to have to ease off on my participation until the community takes control of comp, basically. So that's not his whole message up on the screen.
Take control of it as of this
episode. So what you hear, what we bubble up is going to be the official old world comp.
There we go.
Because it won't be, but I don't think I'd ever do that. It's all good. You could derail. We're all for derailing. Perpety said, a question, if it isn't derailing too much, do you think there's a bit too much 4 creep? By that I mean too few weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, and initiative 3 stuff. Too much weapon skill, like 4 or more. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the only 3s are humans, and the rats got thrown out, and goblins are strength 2. I mean, like in weapon skill 2 and stuff. There's not much weapon skill 2 in the game left, is there? Are peasants weapon skill 2, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're weapon skill 2. They're on the
skeletons.
They're covered in mud. I don't really know what they're doing.
Shows you like the elitist for like the humans and the elves. They're like the elite guys. So I do like that 4 creep in carefully carefully sort of like painted out there.
Yeah, I think he's saying that. Do they put too much? Is there too much now? I don't know.
Yeah, it might be.
I think so.
Maybe they've just overcosted safe troops.
Off our world.
Those are your flag bearers of 3s across the board, right?
Yeah.
We never see them because they're just too expensive to field.
Yeah, they don't really have any rules. That's the thing.
They don't have any rules, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, if you have stuff with 3s on it, you need to have a function or be cheap enough that it doesn't matter that they don't have a function almost. It's like the peasants.
Weapon skill 6, white lions.
Yeah. Rumor has it the super. Well, there was another. Did you guys go back and see?
And the ground knights are weapon skill 6. So
now I'm just like
Swordmasters used to be weapon skill 6 as well. But I think Swordmasters would be like the ultimate in.
So what weapon skill are Swordmasters now?
This is 5.
Oh, okay.
I think in 6th edition they used to be 6, didn't they?
I'm pretty sure in 6th they're 6. So that surprises me if they're only 5. And yet white lions, super white lions.
It's inspiring. Oh, thank you.
I don't know what
We
these
should have
are.
mentioned people can if you miss not that I should anyway. If we miss your comments, you can super chat them if you
currently.
want
Oh,
to.
there you go. Swordmasters. I
Andrew,
didn't even know
yeah,
that.
Hey, how about that one?
Didn't know
Andrew
there's
here
6
is
currently. Well, there you go.
inspiring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't
It is
surprise me.
compared
Yeah, we
to
got it.
mine, yeah. Drawmasters, okay, War Dancers, but it's got 6. Wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
I always find it funny though. I know we talk about that, and we talked about this right at the beginning. Could they change, and they didn't obviously, but could they change the scale, like sort of what they've done in 40K, where it's like they got the 0 to 10 sort of thing, which is not really 0 to 10 anymore, because now you can go over that with movement and all that sort of stuff. And you're like, yeah, should they make more use of it? You know what I mean? Rather than it all jammed around weapons, because it feels like everything's jammed around 3 and 4. But then to wound things that are better, you just need to roll 6s. So you're just continually fishing for 6s for high stuff anyway. So it's like, maybe they could have blended it out a bit more somehow. But that's a bigger change. Sorry, we did miss this one right back. I don't know if you guys saw it, but MC Wong said, wasn't the guts of the High Elf Arcane Journal leaked? Could have. I did not look at the internet really today, so I may have missed it.
A while ago, there was that somebody leaked the rules and they discussed the bits and pieces. I thought I sent you that possibly.
I didn't. Yeah, well, I saw the breakdown of what it was, but it wasn't the like PDFs or anything. It was it was more just dot points. Still, it wasn't
some bloke
just
specific. Writing. Yeah.
So maybe that's what it was. Yeah,
the same one. Well, that's one I saw. Yeah. There's a PDF out there. Let me know.
It must be. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If there's, well, I wonder if Rob and Val will get it somehow early, like they did last time. That was funny. It just went everywhere. Anyway, that is the comp discussion, I guess, what we're going to lead into, unless there's any other ones that we have to catch up on before we do that.
There was a thing about fighting in 2 ranks, which does probably lead into the comp.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah, I know.
They fixed infantry, allowed them to fight in 2 ranks. I'd be happy with that. Is what Horus the Warmaster.
Yeah, there's a few things like that I think. How do we want to kick this off? Because I got my own little private notes here. I guess let's start fundamental level, because we did talk about again. Let's just catch up on our viewpoints here. Are we in favor of comp or not comp, or do we think community comp can solve things? Is there anything to actually solve? Like, I mean, how are you guys feeling? You've just finished up some tournaments, which had different. Well, actually, you did. Hang on, Josh, did Kangon even have a comp? Not really.
It only comped to Green Knight and Forests made were dangerous, I think. But apart from that, that was pretty much the only comp it had.
Yeah,
I think ours was. We realised this when we had a game the other day. I think ours was dangerous too, our comp, but our last tournament. But I can't remember.
More of a clarification than a comp, really.
Andrew, what's your overall thoughts
on 2 comp? Or do I like comp?
Or does it need comp?
Does it need? Currently, I don't think it needs. I think people are just being impatient. Not to say it's perfect. I don't think it is perfect, but I don't like comp because it seems like they just keep changing shit. So it's like, something changes. Like, we'll come out and you got this now and this now. It's like this evolution of comp rules. It does feel like 9th Age because people are trying to fix too much. I'm happy just to kind of like just sit back and ride the roller coaster, and then once it's finished, hopefully we see where we're at. And by finished, I mean like all the rules are hopefully released, and then you might have a few more final FAQs in there once. All the armies are released, a couple more FAQs, and hopefully we're in a better spot. I have faith.
Yeah, that's right.
So much faith.
Cool.
Faith in GW.
So I don't know how you guys structured your ideas, but like I started trying to put mine into. I don't know. It fell into different things. Like there's a composition thing. There's like erratas. There's like new rules maybe they could bring in. There's scenario-y type things. So I guess we probably just go through our list one by one, and it's not really in any order because I don't think we really prepped to have the same things. But maybe at the end, what'd be really cool is like what I'd love to get out of it is there any ideas that bubble to the surface where if you pick 2 or 3 of them, you've got a good candidate to go, okay, that's actually probably, if you tried that, you might see a difference, you know. That's what I was, yeah, it's got his
Everyone loves the
I
endless.
love how people like notice shit in our backgrounds, and I just don't even think. You had to tell me that the other day when I was talking about my daughter with dead body bits, and you're like, "Yeah, I've got antlers in the back." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, didn't even notice." It's funny.
That's it.
Yeah, actually, well, and there was another thing I was thinking. Rather than just list it, is there any particular things we should even target? Like, you guys got an idea? Can you summarize what you think? Is it too hard to do that, or like in terms of what needs even comping at a large group of things, if like a larger level? Like, is there particular things you guys are targeting, or you just want that to come out as we talk through?
No, there's a couple. I mean, I have a fairly. I've kept it quite short because I feel like any kind of comp system, as you say, the minimal changes, the better. And I didn't get into erratas or changing too much. Okay, but the things that I targeted was the prevalence of characters and the lack of static combat res of infantry. Okay, and that is about it.
Yep, I like it. Yep. That's my first one was infantry. Like, I put 4 things. Was it 4? It was sort of 3 to 4, which was 3 that I cared about, to be honest, and that's infantry. I guess this is your character point, Josh, but it's the fact that it feels like you need to take all-powerful characters, which generally are dragons, or if you don't, you need to be very worried about them. And then I still think it'd be nice if, and that this ties into a little bit, but like just level 4 wizards seem to be the thing. And then if you can't have them, then again, you're struggling a little bit. Or so I was trying to address those. Now there are sub ones down there about, you know, skirmishes are a bit weird and all these other little minor things, but I've sort of felt like maybe there's other ways to fix that or not. Based on above 3, you know, that's what I was sort of getting at.
Yeah. There's only so many things you can change in a comp system before you're making a whole new game.
Yeah. I mean, we've had lots of comments here about infantry. It just feels like infantry's number 1 from people's.
I think that's so that comment is Eugene. The first comment that Eugene put in is there's a rumor of a balance update coming, and then including those things.
Okay, this is always.
So that's not what he's suggesting. That's what he's heard as a rumor of things.
That's what I saw,
which is interesting.
Yeah,
it was like a 3.
All of which sound amazing.
Yeah,
3+.
If there are official rule changes, that would be really cool.
They've just got behemoths.
I wouldn't do them as a comp.
Not even monstrous. Not even monsters. Just behemoths. That's interesting too. Yeah.
I've got an idea for infantry for personally.
Well, let's start. Yeah, let's start going.
But I was going to say, did you want to? Because you both said infantry. Did you have one point or one thing fixed for infantry, or like a quick fix for infantry that you reckon?
Well, but I joined into a few different things with infantry.
Okay.
But it was all to do with static combat res, so I guess it's to do. Josh will probably have similar things. So obviously, I had
you have.
Everyone gets all the infantry get +1 additional rank, like basically back to 8. Was it 8? Yeah, all of them really in terms of their additional static combat res.
Very popular change.
I also said monsters can't, so I'd take close order off monsters, so behemoths and monstrous creatures. They just lose it. So effectively, you are, doubling up on making infantry slightly better there again.
Those are the 2 changes I do.
Right. I did play around. Each of mine have, this is what I do, but then I had these other little ideas. And the other ones were things like the horde rule increases your max rank bonus by 1, which obviously would still be in the game. But I was like, I wonder if you could push horde to 2. So not only now have you gone infantry get an extra combat res.
Oh gosh, okay. You're getting very excited with this.
So I was like,
so it'd be like what,
basically trying to
+5?
say, take some, take some big units of infantry, that aren't just fucking.
That is fun actually. I do like that. That's ridiculous because suddenly you're getting a +4.
Yeah, come on, get my big rat unit. Yeah.
That'd be insane.
The only reason I said that was to try to bring in the line hammer a bit to sort of go, well, there should be benefit of being in a block rather than this fucking spammed out.
Did you mull over at all about the idea of giving only infantry close order bonus?
Yeah, I did, but
Cav?
I sort of thought Cav, because they end up with just that still +1 rank bonus now, that maybe it's okay that they are close order.
Yeah. Just target sort of monsters. I reckon it's simpler. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree, because they don't have enough hitting power compared to like what you'd probably call real life. So I think as a game mechanic, they need something to just buff them other than just being this one-hit wonder, like glass cannon thing. Which I think it's in a good spot currently, like keeping that.
Yeah. Actually, let me bring this up because MC Wong probably says that this is actually a good thing. I do agree with this in the sense, and I've probably contradicted ourselves here. Should avoid using comp rules for an event as a reason to change core game rules, not defending the current set of infantry, but they're quick fixes for that. Yeah, look, my point above saying, if we were going to run a comp like a tournament now, what would we do? I don't believe I would do the infantry change that I just said. I would stick to different other things, comp and scenarios, but we'll get into that. So I do agree that it was probably more
I so would be, but
well, you would. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think I would, if all the game stuff comes out, if all the books come out and nothing has changed, then I would. But for now, I'm sort of on Andrew's side where I'm like, let's get the game out, see what Games Workshop do, and then, and until then, for some reason, people don't care about scenarios and composition changes as much as they do rules. So that's my view, but I am going to throw these things out while we talk.
I reckon you can get away with, like, if I was in a good shop, you can get away with 2 changes, and that would be the infantry rank bonus and the no cost order bonus. And then I would maybe change the character point percentage, and then I would just that's it. And that's the only thing I would
basically
touch.
What I would do.
And then that's my torment and combat.
Okay, so let's talk about that. And that's it. Unless they've got anything else on infantry, but do you want Andrew? Did you have something for that?
Oh, but mine's too close to probably changing game mechanic. But all I was thinking to get rid of line hammer and whatnot was not change the way that like make it a bigger rank bonus, but make your supporting attacks equal to your rank bonus. So you still get your rank bonus and you get supporting attacks equal to your rank bonus. Either go like if you had a +2 rank bonus, you could either say +2 each side, but you could still like a
you still don't get all of them along
benefit.
The line.
Yeah, you still get a benefit about being short, but if you're a big long thing, then your supporting attacks is only just base to base because you won't have any other ranks.
Right. Yeah, no.
Could you not just nerf line hammer by saying it's not more than 2 out base to base, like, and just
you could do it that way,
or either or.
I mean, you could do lots of ways. Another one. You could do lots of ways.
Just anything.
The thing that I don't mind about line hammer is it's not so much line hammer, but I don't want to stop people going. Like if you got a missile troops, I don't see any issue having 15 wide, sitting trying to get shots. Like I think that's
infantry needs so much help as it is right now. It's like it's hard to take. They're one broken rule away from them.
That's right. Yeah,
one trick.
Yeah.
It's sometimes hard you're getting the shooting, so that's the bonus, and then you're getting stand and shoot as part of your first combat as well, which is also a bonus for having more shots. I don't like the idea of having like ranked up infantry traditionally being wide.
Yeah. Well, that's why I sort of thought. I was trying to work out, but then it would get too much into changing people like unit entries. Really trying to make open order, close order a bit more prevalent, and like close order definitely built for ranked up infantry, and open order more for like skirmishes, not skirmishes, but light troops, missile troops, and to have different rules for them. But then you're getting into there's so many threads to pull, it gets too complicated. What was that? Oh, Entropy said, is line hammer even an issue? That's the thing. I mean, I haven't really seen it as being an issue.
It's not really.
I've used it a few times, and it's usually just to get out of jail. Not jail, but it's like it's the only thing you've got. It's the last ditch effort. I just got fall back in good order, fucking reform. Like what else can you do?
Yeah. But I mean, I can see why it's disliked. It's not like a balance thing. It's more like just the game aesthetic thing is disliked. And I think it's a reasonable thing
and
to decide.
I do it, and I don't like doing it. It's like, it's this desperate move.
I mean, to be honest, let's go back to that point about, just bring back plus, supporting it. I mean, what was It's almost like if you didn't have 8th edition step up, but you had the full normal, 2 ranks fort, and you got the extra support attack in the back with spears. Like, what's so wrong about that? It forces you into rank.
If infantry are fighting in 2 ranks, and I mean they still had no step up, but they're fighting 2 ranks. I think I remember talking about this like earlier, like 12 months ago.
Week 1.
It's like it would be fine. Like it really would help them a lot.
And Cav actually can deal with it, unlike what they could in the early editions. They probably couldn't deal with that,
What do you mean? As in,
well, like Cav used to like not get like in 8th, you didn't see Cav much because they'd charge in. That's their thing. But then the rest of the other unit in 8th just said, well, that's cool. I've still got 40 attacks coming back at you and wipe you out.
Also, they were effectively all the units were stubborn because of steadfast.
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
Like, it was just everything.
Which they are still again.
And
now,
also, they weren't fighting. They were fighting initiative order. There was no bonus for charging. Like there were so many reasons why Cav was.
Yeah, and you lost your lance after the first go, didn't you?
Yeah,
really?
So that's the thing. So Cav don't need. Like, I don't think that would break Cav at all, just by saying they get more attacks back at them. So
no, I don't. I think that would be a very reasonable infantry buff. Yeah. And that would be a good core game rule that could change. If they were to make that adjustment for sure. Did you have any other maniacal rule changes in your list there, Gomo? What else?
I've got other rule changes, but
I'm really interested to see this list because I feel like you've got a massive list of things.
Oh no, let's talk about comp though, because I think that's the one that I would change today, and I would play it this way for the rest of until James Workshop changed it. And I did some maths and analytics on this. Not really. I opened up a couple of winning lists to see what it would affect. I would make. I'm still being generous here, I reckon. 40% characters. That was the only change. I just go. So it's still pretty high, but it takes off.
That's high. That's gentle. 200.
Yeah, I was going to do 35, and then I went.
I went for 35.
Did you? Yeah, I went into 40, and it still knocks out a bunch of, without going and opening them all up, which we can, but we'll probably run out of time. You see a lot of for Brett's, for example, you see a lot of Baron, Duke, Paladin, and depending on the list, Wizard or Green Knight, that sort of combinations.
Yeah.
That it wipes that. You have to pick and choose.
This is a 2000, sorry, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is a 2000, so that's the most popular one. You can't really get a double Necro Dragon in Tomb Kings. Like, you have to really be... You can, I think, but you don't get any magic items on them. It smashes that one down. The VC one, it smashes down. I think it smashes down the Chaos... like Chaos Lord, Chaos level 4. You're seeing you can
very
fit,
expensive.
I think you can fit Chaos. Oh, you can fit Chaos Lord. It's the other ones you see is like Chaos Lord on a Manticore with 2 level 4s running around. Can't do that. There's heaps of them that just chew into it to the point where, going back to your point, John, and at 50% characters, you don't need to make any hard choice.
You don't. You really don't.
There's no hard choice.
And as Gilthos says, it's a general with a band of friends at that size.
Yes. Yeah. So I'd like the 40. I'd like the high characters because I like the fact that you can get into an army quick and all that, and you can see dragons and monsters. But 50 is just too high. And like I said, my gut feel was 35, and then I went, well, if you give it a bit more, so you still have, because it's fun to play with toys. You also don't want to go, oh, I can never field a level 4 and a Chaos Lord or something. Like, you should be able to do it. But
I'll give you 37.5, which works out to be 750 points.
50, okay. Well, you spot me 50 points. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Whereas I think what gave the Throne of Skulls, which has been beaten to death, the 25% max character just doesn't solve anything.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It actually completely destroys some characters, like a Chaos Lord on Dragon, that type of thing. You just physically can't take it because you can't really afford any other.
That's what I don't want. I want you to be able to take
which is ridiculous. You should be able to make that choice. You're like, I want to take this at this, and just sacrifice all this other stuff. I
don't have any magic. I just got the best Chaos Dragon Lord in the game. Good, I'll play.
I feel like that's a much better way of taking it. I feel
it's a bit of a soft landing. Like I don't think I wouldn't go out and say it doesn't. I think it's better than what it was previously.
Oh, the Throne of Skulls comp, you mean?
Throne of Skulls, yeah. But it's
a
soft landing. Like, for me, it's definitely not, you're not.
The only thing I'd say is it's only ever affected one person I've ever played, and that was Ben's Chaos list. I don't think I've played anything else.
Yeah,
because I don't think Oh, maybe I
Star
play
Dragons,
Andrew.
maybe?
Did you play the Star Dragon once? Maybe the
Yeah, I did
Star.
play the Star
Yeah.
Dragon, and definitely things like you start putting on honors, and then same with
Perfect is
vamps
really
as
on.
well. The vamp, you start having like vampiric powers plus your 100 points. Those definitely. So chaos, chaos, high elf, and vamp. I think were the three big ones that I know.
Perfect. If you really want to go back to slots, you got to go back to play 6, mate. There's no other way you're getting.
Bring back slots.
I don't really care about the Lord and Hero, only because I feel like the cool thing about not having it is they can play around, and I hope they play around later, but there's more variance in the characters. You know, there is some that are really, you can't really, I'd love to get to the point where you can't tell that is that an old 8th edition Lord or Hero? Like, yeah, it'd be cool that it spans out over time, that it's just interesting characters.
Yeah.
You know, rather than saying, because I don't know, we went into this, you know, everyone used to be able to look at a stat and go, oh, yeah, that's a hero level. Anyway, yeah, so, okay, well, you know, that's, again, I think that would be something I would push hard for, and I'm not the only person here, but if we were doing a BIV thing, that would be something in it, I think. That would be I'd be pushing hard for a character limit change.
Yeah, I reckon just that will massively affect how the game feels. And if that was the only change you made,
it almost buffs infantry as well, because you could go and feel more rare or feel more special
indirectly,
but you sort of have more room to take more other stuff.
You do,
which might be more special infantry, or might be, you know, whatever. So.
Yeah, and then there'll be less stuff that's killing infantry around. So the infantry has more room to breathe, you know, like, they can.
That's right. That's the thing with this. You got to like just touch it in subtle ways. Hey,
that's why you only do 1 or 2 little things and then just see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is what GW was saying. We won't do any balance changes because we want to see how the game plays out. But I feel like they haven't, you know, got to at least touch it at some point.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. They feel like they've touched. I guess they did do.
They did the Fanatics
rule of 3 thing and the Fanatic thing. Yeah, but they're touching like these individual things rather than, you know, I'd argue there's not one individual thing that breaks the game generally, because if it is, it's only one army.
It's interesting how with this whole discussion, we haven't discussed a single specific unit. We've only, talked about broad character types.
Yeah,
which is where the problems lie. Like there isn't, you know, we haven't really a lot of the. Well, so far, like maybe we don't really know because those big monsters are warping it so much that we don't notice. But the rest of the game feels relatively balanced. Well, maybe that's a gross generalization, but that's relatively balanced.
What would you do? Okay, well, this one's definitely a little bit more up in the air because I don't actually have a full answer, and I actually don't have an answer for this, but it's around the level 4 thing. But I did come up with a new special rule to add to wizards to try and combat it. So it's probably shit, but anyway, peg nuts. Well,
peg nuts.
Okay, so I've got an errata for that.
Peg nuts.
Oh, errata.
Errata for pegs. Yes.
Sort of. Well, not pegs. I errated the Royal Pegasus. There's a mistake in the Royal Pegasus entry in the Bretonnian book.
Ooh. Yeah, there's a mistake.
It's supposed to say monstrous creature, not
nice.
Not,
love it.
Yeah,
not monstrous cavalry.
I think it fixes it, because if you can't have that guy in with the other pegs, he's not as scary, and they're not as scary.
You know,
they're still hard. They are still fucking hard, but they're not.
Yeah. Everyone will just do what I did, which is put them on horses again, and still have 360 motion, and it's still quite functional.
Yeah, well, that's right, but
they're not flying. They're not flying. They don't have the extra wounds. I actually like having on horses because it meant they couldn't be targeted. Like, I actually felt more. They actually were safer. Which is weird, but
but they also get comped. But
I think that's a nice errata.
40% character. You know, again, you can have your big Duke dude, but you know, if you can't have the other guy and you know, like, it adds up. You know, like,
and MC Wong says, Pegnut should have loner.
Yeah.
But it does provide. Come on, your errata does provide that ridiculous situation where the pegs are all 360 line of sight, and yet the Lord on a single peg isn't. Which
yeah.
I remember that happening in 6th ed too, and it just felt very bizarre.
We just say he's what the story there is, as a character, he's much more, he's looking out, he's surveying, he's not actually like trying to do all this shit. He's like, I'm very focused. I'm focused ahead, trying to do what that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's it.
It's that extra wound the Royal Peg has. It really covers, it blocks your peripheral vision a bit. I don't know. Those big wigs, the new model, it's so big you can't see.
Yes, the new model. Yes, it's true.
That's what it is. So what's you said,
Eugene? So you said that's great again, because he was saying the Peg Knights are because I was saying that most of the units are balanced, and he was like, yeah, brought up Peg Knights.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, but that's
they've got credits.
That's the only one they can really think of.
Still chewing through the credits of just being ignored for 2 editions. That's chewing through that credit. Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
still coasting on that. Yeah.
Okay, Wizards. Okay, what would you guys do? Because I actually didn't have a full solution without game rules changing massively for level like Wizards. And I guess the thing is the 40% characters.
40% characters, I feel like
does do something anyway, so I don't even know if you would need to change anything. But I was more of an interested in level. Would there be anything you could think about changing that would make level 1s and 2s and stuff and all that interesting?
I think it'd just be the old.
You bastard, Adam.
Old Adam. Definitely old times.
Derailed constantly.
What the hell is this? Some kind of olden times kind of radio show?
If you had 1 and 2, level 1 and 2, only +1, level 3 and 4, only +2. And then your bonus is obviously having more spells. I think that's a reasonable fix.
Yeah, but I think that's the only thing I would change, and I think that would massively change, because it means that it's harder for spells to get off as well. And it makes level 2s worthwhile. Level 4's a lot less dominant.
And the fated feels.
Would you need to change anything else? Yeah, the fated. Yeah,
it's going to mean something.
Would you have more than one fated?
It does buff the fated one a little bit. Yeah,
that's a pretty good idea. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah,
really actually, I like that now. Yeah, level.
MC1 just takes it to the next level, just ditch it entirely.
Yeah. Well, the other thing you do feel like is sometimes, yes, it's a little bit about the casting, but it's also about the dispelling. I feel like you got unlimited dispels if you got a wizard. You just can keep throwing a level 2d6 level 4 as long as you're in range. 2d6 +4, 2d6 +4. So if you've got like lots of little ones and he's just domineering the 24 inches around them, they're basically useless. So I feel like sometimes it's the dispelling capabilities of level 4 rather than just the casting, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Which
are you saying to add some kind of resource in or something?
Oh no, I was just wondering, should you even limit like the amount of, like, you can't cast more spells than you have, but for some reason you can dispel more spells than you have, which is a bit weird. So I wonder if that, should be changed as well.
I mean, it was weird for me when I was playing the other week, where I'd go all the effort of getting out all the cards from my opponent's spells and helping someone what they had. But then, unlike when I'm playing the campaign on like said, it doesn't matter what they're casting. I'm just rolling dice. Like if I'm ranged, I'll just roll dice. There was no strategy with that. So you just I don't know how you would add a resource though without making it just as complicated as any other Magic phase.
Yeah,
actually worse though, because it's spread across the whole turn. So you got to remember, have I used the dispels, that type of thing in a previous phase, and then it's just I don't think you could change it the way it's designed. Without making it a massive headache.
Yeah, you'd have to have tokens, and so I think we were talking about that last week, wasn't it, or something that we'd have to. I can't remember what it was. Okay, now I'm a bit embarrassed to bring up my Magic Conclave special rule that all wizards get. So
go for it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
This is just to try and buff. Well, I don't know what it's trying to buff, but I just start going, I don't know. I don't even know if it doesn't really solve anything, actually.
You're just writing Gomo's world.
My own rules. At the beginning of the start of turn subphase, a wizard, which is the supporting wizard, within command range of another wizard, the target may choose to enhance that other wizard's abilities, like the target wizard. Until the next start of turn subphase, the target wizard casts and dispels as if they are 1 level higher, but obviously cap out at 4. This effect does not stack, and the supporting wizard cannot cast or dispel any spells while providing this boost. So basically, trying to say
that's a really cool. That's a really cool. I actually really like
these little level 1s and all, and but you could do it the other way too. Like a level 4 can choose to go, I'm not doing anything, and I'm going to bump this level 1 up to a level 2 for that turn. But it actually, imagine if you could bring more little level 1s and you can just choose. You've got extra dispel. You've got extra like signatures then. Level 1 demonologies would be fucking really good because they can have all these summoning spells, but if they don't need them, they can buff another dude. But all wizards get it, but it's just level 4s. Well, they can't really do anything with it because you can't buff them above 4 anyway. So.
So the 4's still max.
Yeah. They can buff a level 1, but then they can't do anything. So I don't know. I was just playing around with
really
it.
I like it.
So making wizards like, and then depending on the turn, you could go, I'm going to throw it all into this to make him dispel really good that turn.
Yeah.
Like your level 4. Anyway, it was a bit of fun, that one. It was not something that I'd actually put in. But
yeah, Perfect had this one. It was level 1 0/0, level 2 +1 0, 3 1 1, level 4 +2 +1.
Yeah, I thought of something like
I feel like it would be hard to remember.
Yeah, that's the bit.
GW.
Yeah,
like they're trying to simplify everything. I mean, apart from all the pull back in good order, give ground, all that kind of stuff.
I would have thought they
complex,
were,
but the magic phase, they've gone really hard at making it very easy to remember what's what.
I like the idea. I do like the idea, but yeah, it's definitely more complex. I think,
Yeah,
it's
I think
cool idea,
trying that one because that's 9th age, isn't it? It's 1 and 2, isn't it? Pretty much.
Is it?
Well, was it? I thought it was, wasn't it? 9th age did something like that. Level
God.
1.
I don't remember.
I played the most, I think, and my memory is just, shit. It sounds familiar.
Maybe I'm getting confused because you also had those other cards. I don't know. Let's ignore that one.
Yeah.
What other things? I've got a few other rules here and little things, but is it? I guess one thing none of us brought up, so I'll bring one up because everyone does talk about it. And again, the other buffs have probably helped with this or not, but the Swift Stride rule, would you change it at all?
Well, come on, man. You're asking a Bretonian whether to nerf Swift Stride. Well, it's a very unreasonable request.
I didn't say nerf. You could boost it if you're on.
Make it 2d6. I would say the one thing I would change is remove the word may, that the community has interpreted as being optional, which is absolutely garbage.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
That's very true. That's the first thing. No, that's very true. You just have to do it. Yeah, I like that.
For fleas, at least.
I was, look, a lot of people talked about whether or not you just make it back to D3. It's not as elegant. I don't know. It would remove that confusion that everyone had at the beginning of the edition about max, what was it, 3-inch charge range, but plus D6 to your charge roll. Everyone was like, what the fuck? Remember when it first came out and it was confusing as hell. It would actually make that one make more sense if you just went, it's max charge range 3 and it's a D3. I did think then if it's, you get rid of the may, that means when you're rolling the dice, you roll 2d6 and a different coloured dice, that's your Swift Stride dice, and that's the D3 one, and you're just done. Roll it all at once.
Isn't that what everyone does anyway?
Well, not really.
Don't you always roll one different coloured dice for your D6 Swift Stride?
But you could. You still could, yeah.
I have to because I can only again with his stupid way they phrased it, the Bretonians can re-roll the ones on the charge roll, which apparently doesn't include the Swift Stride dice. So
so you have to do it that way.
Right. So I always have to define which is on. And at one point, when I'm trying to do the frenzy questing dice, they go extra D3 attack. Suddenly I was rolling a D3, D6 Swift Stride, and the 2 charging dice. So I had 3 different colors in my charge roll for that unit.
Let's go.
That's just inelegant, eh? They need to. I was thinking. Part of me thought, was there a way to not so much get rid of, leave the D6, but could you change something where the pursuit flee rule was just all the same, or I don't know, maybe they only got plus a certain, not D6. So basically, I was just trying to think of it from a point of view of trying to buff infantry again, where it's like, you're still going to get the charge, but if you break a cav unit, you got a bit of a chance to catch them. Whereas now it's sort of like, it's very rare that infantry get to A, charge, and B, ever catch anyone. I was just wondering if there's anything where you sort of limit how fast Swift Stride can flee and run, but they can charge. That was another idea I had, but I was like, it's probably not that important. So I didn't put it up as
I mean, are infantry supposed to be able to charge or catch cav? Like, if that's happening, isn't that just the cavalry have really been played really poorly? Like, they shouldn't be being charged by infantry in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care about that, but I'm not
Otherwise,
so
it's
sure
back
that
to
they'd be able
8th
to
ed where
flee and run
you've got
off.
ridiculous
I
charge
would say in a normal war, they'd be getting butchered to shit trying to get out of there as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Why should they run off fast? You know?
Yeah,
It's
the
like
charge I disagree with, but
it's not a race.
the fleeing, I can see your.
Because usually when you see those I mean, not that I've ever been in a war, and especially not a fantasy war.
Last time I was on the battlefield.
But they're always just this big mash of people, and usually there's way more infantry than there is cav. And to try and get away, I feel like, you should half get butchered on the way out. You know, I don't know.
I like the idea if you got like Swift Stride, just like you have to do it whenever, not May. It's like you got to take it the shit times as well. Like I think that's people aren't thinking about that because there's plenty of times I don't want Swift Stride, and like, you know, when you've got and you don't use it because you don't want to have to run so far away. Like if you fail a restrain, I'm like, well, I don't want to.
Or if like a flee move, you know, where people have fleed from you and you have to move your full charge and all that. Can they choose to do it there still? Do people still go, oh, I'm not rolling my Swift Stride on that charge?
Okay. Sorry.
Like on the charge roll, because it's May, the other dudes flee, and then you have to roll your full charge. Is it just your normal charge roll, or is it add your D6 as well?
Yeah, I think
you're still forced to do that, to like fully full movement. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I think didn't the most recent FAQs say when you had to declare?
You had to do it before you rolled the dice for the whole thing now.
Yeah. Right. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, but you don't have to use it still. Yeah,
you could still choose not to.
I think Espart's a good suggestion. I think it's sort of what you've said in the past, Como. Differentiate Swiss stride between light and heavy cav and make it D3 for heavy.
I think so. I think that is
totally reasonable.
I like the light heavy cav thing, but I feel like there's just not much distinction. And the way rank bonuses is, you never see cav caring about rank bonus, so that whole +2 whatever they get. Do they? No, they don't get +2. They just can get a rank bonus with 4. Is that what it is, or they get a +2? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it is with 4.
It's so not used anyway. 1.
Yeah.
I mean, historically, they did attempt to make.
What was this one? GW gave out Swift Stride like a drunk 60-year-old in RSL, buying drinks for any woman under 25 who comes near him. Sorry for those overseas. I don't know what an RSL club is, but you get it. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
Dive bar, sort of. Not really.
I was going to say these. Barding had a -1 move penalty. Like it always has had that. But then a lot of the armies that relied on heavy cav would have some special rule that ignored it, like Bretonian ignores that penalty. Elves, typically they move at 90 when they go to 8 doesn't really make a difference. So thematically, the heavy cav should be slower, and they sort of made a half-ass effort to have that. So going to D3 Swift Stride would fit that. Would fit that theme for sure.
Yep, no, I like that. What else do I have? I don't know if I had much. We haven't actually changed a lot because I don't think really it came down to buffing infantry and reducing characters a bit. I feel like that's a good start. There is only one other thing that I think
be back in a bit.
Needs to be done. Huh? Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, it's 2 sets.
Yeah, you're right. There's one thing, and Andrew we can catch him up on it. Is victory point changes. I reckon that's the third thing I would change. So infantry, buffing that.
But yeah, that's got it.
40% characters, and back to the 50% if you knock out 50% of a unit.
Yeah.
Is that what it was in 8th? I think it was something like that anyway.
Did you say 40%? Yeah, half the unit value. Yeah, sorry, 50.
Yeah, I said 40% characters, and then I said VP's back to 50% if you kill 50% of the unit.
Doesn't that nerf infantry?
Infantry. It does a bit, but it also stops like, oh shit, I just killed 2 of your pegs and the other one ran off and I don't get any points.
Yeah.
I
mean, I agree. It's not very like it doesn't feel right when you don't get any points for stuff that's almost dead. I agree.
Yeah,
like,
and then
the whole game
buffs infantry in a way, in the sense they go, okay, well, maybe I won't take 20, I'll take 35, or make you have to chew through more through them.
Yeah, because it's so hard to chew through them all. Yeah, I agree.
So,
But it's also it's not either wounds, it's only unit strength. So even if you take a dragon below half strength or 25%,
oh yeah, no, you'd have to
you don't get shit for it. So you got
to
I think also add that in
there.
as a differential, as a definition.
Yeah. Now going back to a few weeks or months ago when we were talking about trying to stop the big, 140 skeleton shooting archer block thing, I was mulling around with ideas around, well, maybe if they're horde or they're certain things that you actually get points per. Yeah, it's just the percentage of how many you've actually killed. That's what you get, not a 40%. It's just, if you take out 35 of 100, you get 35%. Like, just actually make it straight. But then I like
just make
the
it
idea
killed.
Sort of,
oh man, the accounting of that at the end of the game.
Yeah,
that's a lot of adding up.
Yeah. How many models or But I think you just with monsters and stuff, you just need to put that extra caveat that, you get. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Maybe it is half, same thing, half if they're down below half wounds. I don't know.
You just have to add in wounds. You just have to say either below half unit strength or original wounds, starting wounds.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure is exactly how they worded it in Nathan's 6 ed.
Oh, is it? Oh, there you go. So you're the scholar there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. No, I think that change would, again, it stops the the monster side Death Stars, like the hoarding of points. It doesn't stop the infantry. Like you could still get 140 skeletons and sit there, and it'd be hard to get through them all. But then you can't say infantry suck. At some point, like it's like, no.
It's the aesthetics again. It's the aesthetics.
Yeah. Did you hear that one though, Andrew? Like I was saying, like the third thing, I'd say the two I would sum up as. Infantry need a little bit of a buff with rank bonuses, and I'd do those two that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, the two is in the infantry +1 rank bonus. Monsters don't get close order. That one. 40% character limit, and then VP's changed to say 50%. What did you say, Josh? Half your wounds or half your unit strength, you get 50% of the points if you've killed half the unit strength or wounds, depending on the.
Yeah.
So half the unit strength or half the wounds of the model, and you get 50% of the model or the unit.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah. And then Michael, well, that's the other thing. Decent terrain setups can solve for, totally. Absolutely. Well, that's the other thing I'd potentially like to do. And this will probably be with Biv if we do it.
Symmetrical.
we would go with 9th age type maps or something where you've got more terrain and linear obstacles. See these? But also not symmetrical, but known ones. So you could publish a mission and say it's on this one, or that sort of thing. So
I would never do that.
You wouldn't publish it. Yeah, well, you just do.
I just throw it down. I just do. I would just do. I would do a classic TO to set up. That's just too rigid for me. Looking at those diagrams. Yeah. Just just as a different
you get
opinion.
A vote. You get a.
I mean, nothing. You guys can do it for sure.
You're definitely a Biv organizer, so you get a vote. So it's all good.
Oh, do I? Actually, putting train on the board.
Yeah, the annoying thing, Josh, you're probably right, is when I look at them, there's way more terrain types than I actually own. So I'm like, oh, maybe I won't do that.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be a headache because you'll be looking at the diagram and trying to measure it all out, and then it'll get moved between rounds anyway, and you'll be like, oh, where was this? Where was that?
I did like the way that the 2+ guys were doing it, like and Michael's one where they make up their terrain pack. I think they were using the other ones.
That's just square based, but they did make a few little changes, for like depending on the mission.
Yeah, so something like that, but not have it symmetrical. So to be like you get the pack, get the mission.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying with that. Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, because they're not symmetrical, are they? Yeah.
Yeah. So you can get as part of the scenarios, you can put your scenario in there, and then at least you're going to have what you're going to be coming into with scenarios. Or else, like sometimes you can have a scenario, and the terrain is so out of there, it doesn't marry up to the scenario, sort of thing.
And that's why I'm cool. Like that's why I'm playing the middle ground where I hate symmetrical, but I like a bit of thought. I don't mind if people have put a bit of thought in to say, well, this terrain, these 2 maps or 3 maps that are not asymmetrical, however you say, are suited for that type of mission, because there's not going to be some crazy thing that totally kills someone if they get on the wrong side. Or whatever.
Yeah, like a giant piece of impassable or just shitty layouts just happen to screw you over too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, the interesting, I think as much as people are talking about comp and all this sort of stuff, I feel like most people do just get back to a couple of things, which is cool. It means that, and if there is rumors, is what they're talking about.
Needs to change.
We go right
There's
back
really
to those ones that Eugene Chaffel brought up. I think it was him, wasn't it? About what was it? There was other ones which I actually agreed with. Where were they?
The 2 ranks.
Oh yeah, the
infantry fighting 2 ranks.
I like that.
The hand weapon and shield bonus.
Yes. Yep.
Which I'm hoping he means like a +1 to armor save, not just a bloody 6-up ward parry save or that kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Waste of time.
Line breakers will be so good.
And then a capped armor save for behemoths.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I didn't even bring any of that up, but I would be totally fine.
Yeah.
With saying, I wouldn't even keep it to behemoth. I would,
because that fixes what we're trying to comp. Like, because that's taking a different way of making it easier to wound the monsters. You're getting more attacks from infantry blocks, so therefore they're producing more combat res, and you get to roll more dice, I guess. So people prefer that to static res anyway. And that does change the balance of the game completely. And then cavalry are also not going to be as dominant because the infantry, again, you get 2 extra ranks. Like, I think that would be a really positive change.
I would still, if those 2, like, I'll bring this one back up. If it was those changes there, I would still want to see characters capped at about 40. I want people to make choices and not go, I'm going to take my level 4 and my dragon and everything.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with 40 with those changes. Yeah, I'll give. I'll take 40% with those changes.
I reckon those changes, like, I don't know, I'd still go almost 50 because I'd like to see heaps of smaller characters, which I think you'd be allowed to use more just to buff up. Like, I don't know. I don't know how many dragons you'd see. If you've got a dragon, it can only have a 3+ save. You're sinking a lot of points into that.
Where's it 3+ save there?
That was what he said before.
He did say the cap was 3.
He was snapping armor saves. And it was, So that's why.
So not a great cap. I was hoping before, but yeah.
Well, they'd have to be up the thing is, up, basically.
The character limit for me is not necessarily like it is the balance issue in the game right now, but just because the monsters are overpowered. But I also just want the character cap dropped because I feel like it feels more like a Warhammer army.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying. Yeah, no, 100%. You're spending, even if it's not infantry, even if it's more, I don't know, spiders like the Scorpion Riders on Tomb Kings it's Cav on something else. I don't care, but it looks more like an army and not just 3 big characters and a support crew. That's my thing. Like, bring the characters down.
Yeah. And the thing is, even if you just push the army sizes up to like 2,400 or something, the character limit still being 50% means those characters still really dominate the battles just because there's so many points putting them as a proportion of the army.
And look, maybe people have been talking about that the army sizes might go up over time. People will be paying 2,400. So if you capped it at
I think 2,400 work well at CanCon, to be honest.
Yeah,
didn't feel like the game was taking very long. Most of them I finished quite easily.
But like, if you had a 40% cap, you would then still have the equivalent of, 1,000 points in characters almost, or whatever it is, and then what you got now. But you just got a lot more other toys in there as well. So again, it would look more Warhammerish.
So the problem with 40% is it's 960.
Yeah. But I mean, it depends on what. Again, it all comes down to what, what's it at 2,500 points?
You need to get a 41.6% cap to get exactly 1,000 points.
Yeah. The only other thing I'll do is not cap armor saves, but I'd potentially just go, let's just go ward or regen. I don't know, just choose your best. So you could have 2 still. Like, there might be some benefits to buying a ward if you've already got a regen, like undead, because if you lose one, you still got the other, but you still only get to have one. Like, I don't mind that as well.
I think that's I think Andrew suggested that in the past, haven't you?
Dice roll.
Yeah. I still think, like, compared to like 6th edition, where you still saw monsters, the whole thing about they didn't get the extra wounds. I think the extra wounds is such a big buff. You don't have as much multi-wound stuff with the artillery, besides.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, that's why they've got that. They've got 3 loads of saves. So like,
it's layers and it synergizes. You know, it's
I
actually don't mind the high wounds because they can survive. You don't want them cannoned off in 2 turns or 1 turn. You want them around, but you want to be able to kill them by turn 4 or 5. You know, you want them to at least have a chance to die. And so I'd almost happy give them more wounds, but just reduce the save. So let me just keep shooting at them and then taking wounds and taking wounds. You know, like to me that's a better thing than trying to make them just this big. You kind of never injure them. You know, that's the
They're just like, you don't even care now. Sometimes like you just put a dragon in the middle. You just like deal with this. Like, you know, how many people do that because they know you just can't. You just can't deal with it, like unless you got that specific list. So I think call me
a grognard, but I still really love the idea of monsters being shot out from underneath guys and ending up on a foot, walking around at 4 inches, or the monsters, you know, being left without a rider, taking monster reaction table checks and going crazy.
No, it's just I don't know. I didn't.
I used to hate it. After running a monster.
Well, what about the old? I swear the old in 3rd and 4th where you had flying high. Sorry, 4th and 5th.
Oh, flying high! Oh my god!
There was a wasn't there the one?
Imagine
of them
if the old one had flying high. So it's like
the
they had
magic
these
bolt
crazy
thrower
monsters
that you could shoot.
Also
was
fly
it
high.
Dwarves had it, or someone had a bolt thrower that could shoot to people flying
into
high.
the sky, like right up
there was
into the
something
sky.
where you could shoot.
Dragon
and plus, you're able to do challenges.
That's amazing.
But then if you kill the dragon, the dude would die because he would fall to his death. So people used to, like, if you killed them when they're up flying high, then you go for the mount because you can chop the dragon out, or the eagle, or the griffin from out under them.
I know. Windlands. What's the one in
they're
the Hobbit?
automatically dead.
Yeah, Windlands.
The Windlands. Yeah.
But I swear there was
because 5th Ed wasn't Hero Hammer at all. 4th and 5th Ed didn't get dominated by heroes at all, did it?
Cool. Well, that's our comp. I don't know what we'll end up with, and obviously Cam gets a say, but we might not have any because by the time we do a tournament, maybe there'll be no need for a comp. Who knows? Yeah, we're not actually going to instigate any of this, but it was a good chat.
No.
If I ran a tournament, I would be, but I'm very preoccupied with my campaign.
Oh, cool. Well, let me. Why don't we just give our patrons then a quick shout out and get into some news and just chat about that and hobby to close out our live stream today. Still got a good half hour or so. So if people are around and not asleep yet, or if you're on the other side of the world waking up. Look, I'm just going to jump over to our patrons. We've already given a shout out at the beginning.
Patrons. I've been waiting for this all night.
And I've just lost the patron screen on my other screen. Here it is. Found it. We have a new member, Sporadic Sanity. That's a cool one. I like that one. Thank you.
Nice.
2D6 Battle Report tier. And then last week we had Mark join us as well. So yeah, thank you guys. Other than that, we've got Nick and Grant Van der Bosch, Chris Bowler, Drunkhammer Nate, Ben, Shooter Louie, Eugene Chaffo, is he still on? He was on before.
No, he's gone. He's gone.
No worries. Benoit, Ed Fawcett, Cam the Dentist, also gone to bed. James McClellan, Liam Fallon, Tommy Kublin, Jay McBride, Flatwelds, Edge, Sexy, Space, Jelly. A different Poor Jelly. He kept on thinking I kept saying Sexy Jelly.
Sexy Jelly.
Sexy Jelly.
This Gomo guy keeps calling me sexy.
And it's funny, Jim's nickname is actually not Sexy, but he did say that's how you say it, didn't he? Because it's SSXE, so I don't even know.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced correctly.
Yeah.
No.
Herald of the Old World, Keel Her, David Lancaster, Tommy Dogs, Matthew Klein, Thumper, Matt Morris, Thomas Vavasow, Griff, Jess Tors, Wood Duck, Josh Griffiths, Nananawam, Daniel Broadstock, Jonathan Wangler, Elliot Mitchum, Gilthos, Draconos, Diesel, Danny Gamer, Robert Z, the Softy, OG Whirler, Tainted, Bobby Gergen, Cumwich, Sean Ritchie, Todd Lloyd, and the OG Chapstick, who's been with us for bloody ages. In fact, he is the only, I'm just looking at this, he's the only patron who's actually been here since 2023.
Ooh.
That must be when we kicked it
Really?
off, late 23. Yeah,
late
he joined in
23.
late November, and then there was a bunch around.
Seems so long ago.
It is. Been going for a while.
It has.
Yeah, so big thank you to those guys. Again, if you're listening to this and this far through, jump over to patreon.com/oldworldfanatics and join them over there. Crank into some. We got any other questions we had? I thought so. Miss Junks did leave this here, and I thought, did I post it in here? Where was it? Banners. Maybe I didn't. Ah, shit. Miss Junk, which Jay said, would you like to see a Warhammer roleplay come back, and would you like to see it in it? What would you like to see in it? Didn't someone ask us that?
Oh, I believe
discuss it last week?
We have discussed it at some point.
Because I think we all went, we don't know anything much. I mean, I played Warhammer Roleplay 1.
Yeah.
The only thing I said was, I'm pretty sure Cubicle 7's working on it, and I would get it because it's good to get, like, I'm assuming it will bring heaps of the lore in because they're very big on that stuff. But realistically, I haven't really thought too much about what I'd like to see. I just want to see the story progress, and that doesn't have to be Warhammer Roleplay. It can be books. It can be more arcane journals.
Yeah.
We really don't know what's happening. No. I don't even think GW knew what was happening. That's why they've had to correct themselves a bit in terms of saying it's not actually hundreds of years. It's actually close to the War of Chaos, isn't it? Is that what they're saying now? I don't know. It's like it's not the time of the three emperors. It's after that. Like everyone, like the whole thing was a bit screwed around, I thought. So, yeah. I don't know if you guys had anything else to add on that one. There's another big one, which is Bretonian faction focus. When's that happening?
Keeps asking this every week.
The age-old question. The age-old question. You know what you got to do there, Josh? You know what you got to do.
I reckon we put Cam and Josh in a room, a video, and let them sort it out.
Oh, yeah.
Cam can come on for the Brett.
That'd be gold.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. All good. I'll jump into a little bit of news and then we can close out with Hoppy. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, cool. And I've just lost the friggin' window. I can see it. I can click it on here, but I don't have my window open because we just looked at that, didn't we? We're getting High Elves this week came out. I'm assuming right when we go to bed after this live stream ends, we'll probably get like an almanac come out. So enjoy that. Yeah, we'll check in on the morning with it.
Yeah, it'll be good to see.
So when this Cam, keep mentioning Cam here, but Cam the dentist, one of our, you obviously seen him on the channel if you watch our YouTube channel. He is so excited about this, and he posted it at like 5 in the morning.
It's just me as my head completely obstructed, by the way, not by a mic stand.
Oh, now I've done it
by
again.
Oh, no.
Sorry. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
The sponsor again.
I appreciate it.
The sponsor gets in the way. The first comment I said about this article was I finally got to see the dice and I said they're cool, and then I thought to myself, I hope he doesn't take that the wrong way, meaning the dice are cool, everything else is shit. I didn't mean that at all. I meant like it's a good release. I just hadn't seen the dice in their other release, and you know me, I love a themed dice, and that one's, I don't know, like the look of it. But yeah. So, Andrew, you're the main High Elf dude, and it's all coming this week. Are you getting anything other than the book, or are you not even getting the book?
Oh, I'll get the book. I'm not too sure. I need to work out if you get it quicker, if you order it online, or if you just wait. I don't know, man. I can't trust.
You don't get it. Anymore. No.
Well, I got
burned from last year.
No, you won't off them. And you won't get it on release day with Games Workshop. It always, because I've done that with all mine, and it all comes a couple of days later. I also, and actually, this one's interesting. I was going to say, I reckon you could just rock up to Frontline the next day, and you'd probably be able to get some. But maybe that's not true with the High Elf book. You know, maybe some of these will go pretty quick.
I don't know. Unless there isn't some sort of early PDF where I can't play it. We'll see what happens, but I was just going to
look, I'll always buy the EPUB too because I like having it, and it just I get that the day it comes out.
Well, I'll probably look at getting maybe an EPUB. I just, as long as I got something rules wise, until I can physically get my hands on a Arcane Journal. But after I got burnt last time,
we're delayed anyway, so let's just put it this way. You'll either have a potato picture version, or there'll be a PDF hanging around by the time we get the physical copy, I reckon. So I reckon in that case, buy it from somewhere where you get the most discount. You know, that's probably what I'd do, and just let it come.
Yeah, that's what I'll probably do.
Yeah.
There'll be that. I do like the characters. I'll probably get at least one, if not both. And I do like the dice, funnily enough.
They look cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I do like having more dice, but like the smaller dice. Yeah,
you're a small man, and I'm a big dice man.
Yeah,
that's only because I was playing doing battle reports so much that and especially when they were picture ones, like the small dice were pretty hard to read a lot. That's why I went to the bigger ones.
Yeah, they are.
And then I just stayed with them. Yeah.
So. But neither, I'm assuming
you don't need anything else. Oh, what about no? You would if these weren't shit in the game as much, eh? But it's nice to see new sculpts, but
the Reavers. No, well, they're so close to the other ones, and I've got 15 Reavers.
Yeah, you wouldn't need them. That's the thing.
Yeah, nah. Swordmaster's got about 40.
Yeah. What about all these older metal ones? Have you got all these guys?
So no, I don't. I'm not too sure because like the Maiden Guard, like the Handmaiden, is just. We'll see what comes out, but I wanted to make a list with it, but I couldn't. But yeah, we'll see what comes out as part of the Arcane Journal, whether I'm going to get the returning metal miniatures, like as in these two.
Sorry, but Michael said the high up with the eye patch on the Arcane should get back onto it. Bit of weight gain there, eh? On the elf. Oh, fucking hell. Sorry, Michael. That's good one. Yeah.
Is she a bit too chunky?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what he's saying.
Although they are chunky. I still can't believe, but you had your Empire.
Oh, I've got that on my hobby picture. Do you want me to bring it up? Oh, wait.
Oh no, sorry, I didn't want to.
Keeps coming up with them. What the heck?
Didn't want to give away.
Handmaiden going to battle or Burning Man.
Sorry, I'm getting everyone dizzy scrolling up and down.
Up and down.
The other thing too is your I love the Lord of the Rings eagles. That's where you've got yours from. Hey, there's so much.
Yeah, so shit. Those old eagles. They're just I can't. You know, sometimes you're like, why? Like why?
Yeah. Well, that's. Yeah, we're going to be saying that hard when Wood Elves come out, when they bring that treatment out. Everyone's going to be going, what? Why?
Do you think they bring that one out? Oh,
yeah, it's in the pictures, isn't it? It's in the book.
It's a 5th ed or 6th ed? Yeah, the original metal one. Yeah. Oh my god.
I would take that treatment over that eagle any day of the week.
I would too.
Yeah, me too.
5 of those treatments.
Yeah, the Hobbit eagles look so much better than that one.
Oh, so much better. Is that what it's from, the Hobbit? Is that those ones, not the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. The plastic ones.
Oh,
they might be Lord of the Rings. Oh, no, I'm pretty sure the Hobbit. I don't think it's
mine are pretty old. Yeah, I've had them for quite a while.
They're always out of stock.
Either way,
I actually looked them up the other day, and I got a notification from Games Workshop that they're in stock, and then I went, oh, God, I put that on there. Like I must have put like a email thing ages ago.
They're so good. The only problem with them is because you use them as chaff, they're really hard to fit because they're so big and
big.
Just, for a shitty chaff piece, there
must be some. I haven't even looked, but there must be some good 3D eagles these days, surely.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah.
Can you scroll down to the next one?
Yeah.
I love it.
They're just getting this one for sure.
Merworm.
Yeah.
Merworm. There was so much angry posts going, oh, GW don't know how to sculpt anything anymore. What's this new model?
How funny is that?
On Facebook.
Really?
I
I guess if you don't follow it and you do think it's a new sculpt, maybe.
Yeah.
But
they don't know what they're doing anymore. Oh, that's great.
But the funny thing is, it's old. It's so
by
old.
Trish, wasn't it?
It's
Morrison, yeah. Well,
Trish Morrison,
name is now.
yeah.
It's showing how good some of those sculpts are, because people are like, "Oh, that's a new sculpt." Like it.
True. Yeah, they actually didn't think not like some of the old derpy ones. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like the
don't know.
detail.
I don't overly like it at all, but still, that's I don't know.
I can totally see what she was trying to get with it. I agree. The aesthetic isn't really what I'd be up my alley, really, but I think it certainly portrays what she was imagining, and I do like that. Yeah, it's something that looks very ungainly out of water, but you can see if it hit the water, it'd be like super scary to be swimming around and suddenly have this thing turn up next to you on your boogie board, take a bite out of your boogie board.
Oh, God, yeah.
I was getting a high elf option.
It's got a few of those little debuffs and buff
option.
things, doesn't it? It's a -2 to hit, get shooting, but it does -1. What was the rule for it? It does something. I can't remember.
Yeah, the freezing. Is it -1 strength or -1 initiative or something? The freezing.
Yeah. Well, that's.
You're talking about in the old world?
Yeah, they
released they leaked some of the rules.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah, well, when they brought it out, it was back the other day, whatever it was. Where is it?
Sorry, not leaked. They previewed two of the rules.
We actually go to Old World, eh? This one. Abyssal Cloak. -1 strength. Whilst in base... this is annoying. It's only the model, like enemy model suffers. It's not the unit, so if you... Yeah. Like if you
that seems to be the way that they've gone. A lot of the things like High Elf with like an initiative, it's models, it's not the unit.
Right. Yeah.
So it seems to be sort of across the board a bit.
And then we do got this, which was just pushing on a bit, but this has been on eBay. So obviously Wood Elves are we knew Beastmen and Wood Elves are coming. But yeah, they're all going to be coming up hard, aren't they? After, well, I guess this will be the interesting thing. We saw that massive gap between Dwarves and Chaos, but now we've been told that Beastmen and Wood Elves are coming. I wonder when they will come. Yeah. Like, is it because High Elves will be out by pre-order. So technically they're out by the end of the month. Australia is obviously not, but that would be easy into March. They're out.
Hopefully.
There might be a month lull, and then you might see one of these. They're definitely going to be out by mid-year, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, I believe my prediction was around June they'd all be out.
Yep, it was. Yep.
For better or worse. Should I put Perfidy's question up?
Sure.
Just to revisit the brief thing we talked about. He's a bit behind. 3-up capital monsters isn't that big. 3-up, 5-up still hard to get through, which is true. But we're also talking about limiting to 1 save. I was hoping they'd cap it at 4-up, to be honest. 3-up doesn't seem.
Wow. Oh, so like a max 4-up save or ward. I mean, you can't really get more than a 4-up.
Maybe that's a bit much.
Most of the time, but...
You're probably better off doing 3-up and then
about the cap.
either ward or regen. That's probably a better way to do it.
The reason why I don't care, because most of the time you're not going up against that monster without anything with pretty high AP anyway. So a 3-up still is going to end up as a 5-up, really, which is actually a 4-up ward. You're basically going back to a 4-up ward. Slightly better than a 4-up.
Better. Yeah, it's not like 57 or something % you save or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, Wood Elves are starting to...
Wood Elves on the way. Suddenly all the elves are out. Well, 2 out of 3. Yep. I'm hoping for some interesting armies of infantry more than just shooty avoidance. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yes, that will be interesting to see what they do, because obviously they've gone and it's inadvertently or not, they totally wiped out that.
There's someone who agrees with me.
Ed has come back with, and obviously these people over in. You lucky people over in the UK who actually know this stuff. Perfidy.
All the Troomers.
Whispers I've heard have cap monster saves at a 4+. Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm not going to say no. I don't think it saves the whole.
It'd be a big change.
Yeah, nothing official.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd still prefer just limit. Yeah. To be honest, everything I'd still rather 40%. I want people to make choices.
Yeah, I think 40% regardless of what monsters do. Yeah, I agree.
Do whatever you, but it doesn't stop it. Yeah. I want you to bring a big monster, but I just don't want you then, combine it with everything else. Cool. Any other news, guys, that you know about?
No, just tournament news. I saw Moab was looking for.
Oh yes, that popped up today, but it's obviously not into the system yet. But they're actually got call out
chasing some TOs, possibly.
TOs in it's first week of May, I think. Yeah.
It's crept up.
Yes, because we've got a lot in Feb. You're going to March. You're going to this one, Hey Old World.
Yeah. Autumn, March.
We've got 4 big ones, that's a 2-day. Drunk Hammers. Oh, this is the one I'm trying to get to. I've actually paid for it, so at this point I'm going. But now I'm finding out that on the same one as this 3rd and 4th of May is when Moab will be. So Moab will be here.
Oh, the same weekend as Arc in Victoria, right?
Yeah, which is the week after this one, and I'm like, I don't know. We'll see.
Filling up. The calendar is filling up.
I think I got, is it August? I mean, this doesn't go out because I've done it at the thingy date. But I think Castle is August. Did you guys know when it was? It was...
No, I didn't. I haven't seen anything about Castle.
17th of August.
Ooh.
So that will be up here soon, July, August. So, yeah.
Because we also had... The Dwellers Below.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, the May event. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, the May event ShyCon. Sorry, I'm getting confused. You're right. Michael said it's ShyCon that got released.
That makes sense.
Is it ShyCon? Sorry.
Yeah. Did you do the same thing?
I thought Moab was in October. Yeah.
I thought Moab was later, but then I just saw something about Moab in the ad for it.
Maybe Moab's doing the call out for thingies, but at ShyCon,
there must be something about Moab on the. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
they might say, the same.
They're in the same spot, that's why I get confused.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Sorry, cool. ShyCon.
Yeah, ShyCon is is May, first weekend of May. So hopefully it'll pop up here soon.
And it's not on there, but the Dwellers Below is also doing their Snake Eyes.
Yeah, they got their Snake Eyes one. Yep, which we
14th,
last
15th
week.
of June.
That's right, my birthday, and that's a Teams one. So I don't have Teams coming through an Old World rankings
Teams
yet, but I'm going to add that soon. Yeah. Well, not to spoil anything, but we're sort of thinking that for Viv.
Really?
So I don't know if you listened to Old World of Oz last week when I was talking to Nick was on there, and I was like, yeah, that's what we're probably thinking. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind the whole little team of 3. I thought that it might be interesting. So.
Yeah. Something a bit different. Have you guys spoken about how that's going to work for rankings? The team.
There was a couple of discussions. I was asking as while I had Nick on there as well last week. I was like, so how did it used to get done with teams? So different regions did different things, but sometimes what they would do was, yes, they would individually pull. If you did count them, if your team came first and say it was a 3-person team. All people on that team would get first place of ranks, and then the next team would get 4-4-4, and the next one would. So you would get a rank, so you could individually rank the person. Still, it's not 100% accurate still, because you could get carried or maybe not. You might have been good.
Oh, you could get carried. I'd get carried.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm saying that. Like in general, you know what I mean. But there is a way that you could elect to still count individual rankings.
That's it.
From team tournaments. So that's something that I will add into this, and then it'll be up to the region to decide if they want to do that or not. That's where I'm sort of getting to at the moment. There's just some back end stuff I've been working on to make it.
You'd imagine some killer combos, but you'd have ASB, Paddy, and one of the other sort of front runners being a team. It was just, I don't know. It would be good if it got separated a bit for players somehow, but I'll let you guys sort that out.
Yeah,
obviously.
But the other thing that's not out yet on this is because it's just a little performance-y thing with the filtering, but I do have it'll come up in the next day or so. You'll have the state here. So I've gone through and created, and I've sort of guessed everyone's state around the whole world by looking at what tournaments they've gone to. So it probably will be wrong for some people, but it actually goes if you've attended one event, it'll just take the state of the event. If you've attended multiple, it'll try work out what's the most popular state that you went to in that, and then just adds that in as your state. So that way you can filter rankings based on, for example, I think New South Wales have 4 or 5 people in there at the moment. Queensland might have 3 or 4, and Vic's got 2 or 3 or whatever and stuff like that. So
that's
poor South Australia isn't in there. Because bloody Goonie, or however you say his name, just keeps podiing it, like killing it, but all the events are fairly small. So he's just, if he was just in one of those other events, he would have an 80 or 100 here, and he'd be
those bigger.
So that's another thing we're looking at, is saying every state in the Australian Masters, at least, what we might do, and probably not this year, but next year, is elect one of your state 2-dayers or whatever tournament to be the featured tournament. And if you podium that, if you win that, you get an automatic entry in the Masters. You don't even need to, So they'll get things like that they're playing around with to make it a bit sort of fairer if your area doesn't have a heap of big tournaments. So
yeah.
How
would that work if you're not from that state? Have you got to be from the state?
No, you could go down and win it, I think, as well. And then it's just like a golden ticket. That's apparently what they used to. I don't know, because I wasn't. I think there was that back in the 6th or 7th days. You could go and you had people doing that. Like they'd fly down to South Australia and try and take that out to get the golden ticket into the Masters.
Try and get the golden ticket.
But it's amateur. Hey, if you're going to do that, good on you.
Oh yeah.
Well, what can you do? You can't have it totally fair. Hey.
Oh, it's some effort to go to. It's
exactly. Yeah. Cool. Do you want to throw up some hobby, Josh? I actually really have none. I've got stuff to talk about, but not.
I can't wait to see Josh's hobby. I've been eyeing it off for half the episode. Trying to work out what it is.
Guys.
Can't wait for this.
Right. I mean, I've actually been pretty occupied this week.
Nice.
So I've actually got a lot of painting done. All of which is related to my 6-head campaign, by the way. So these are the classic 6-head, not classic, but middle hammer, I guess, blood letters that I've done.
Printed?
Yeah.
No. Yes. Okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, they are.
They are. Okay. I just wasn't. You know how there's that other printing? I can't remember the company, but they did the big VC range at last year, and I got them all. Like they look almost like the 4th, 5th ed era, but they're actually. I wouldn't say they're pirated or anything. They're all made. They just look
inspired by.
Yeah, they look exactly the same. They look so good. I was just wondering if that was the same company or not.
Yeah. No, I was cracking through these guys. These are pretty much just tabletop done.
Nice.
I haven't hit the details. These are almost entirely contrast with shading. That's really all I've done. So this is Josh's speed paint essentially effort. Because I was just trying to get the demons done for the demonic scenario thing that I have going on in the campaign, where all my demons are sort of just zenithal primed. So I also I chucked through these guys, and I also chunked through some of the classic horrors as well.
They look so much better than the new ones.
They just so much character, isn't it?
Definitely, because if they're
so
splitting,
much more character.
Yeah.
They're splitting. They look really
mutated.
Yeah. I use some of the epic bases, sort of flamey things to give the different sort of indigo fire and stuff like that. That was a bit of fun. I did reduce the unit size. I think at 18, but I started to cut the unit size down a little bit because it was just too chunky.
Are they both printed? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yep. My entire demon, all of the demons are printed. Yeah.
Yeah.
From mysterious source. And then the other, so that's my painting, because I've done full 2 units in a week and a half or something. Since I got back from CanCon. That's all my output in that regard. And then I stumbled upon this is 6-head stuff, guys. So strap in. I stumbled upon some rules in the old Chronicle about doing
the old
3-player 3-for-all games, and like for rules for like the magic phase and that type of thing. That could actually work out, because in 6th ed there was always, I couldn't get my head around how on earth do you do magic phase if you have 3 players, 3 separate players, not like
not a
2 sides,
thing.
not a team thing, but 3 sides in a game. And and they've got it, and it's really cool. It's basically like you got this magic phase where your base starts at 2 dice, you go down to 1 each for each player, then you get all your wizard spells, and then when you're just spelling a spell, you secretly pick how many dice you want to use, and then you both reveal it, and whoever bids higher has to dispel it, kind of thing. Or a dispel scroll would trump, dice. So I'm actually going to print off little cards. So be rather than write it down and then reveal it. If you just got cards that say 1, 2, 3, 4 dice and stuff, you could actually just do it like that.
So if you don't win the bid, do you lose yours as well, or?
No, you don't. No, if you lose if you lose the bid, you just keep the dice. So there's no table talk. It's just you just think about it. You just do this, and
isn't it better than to not dispel? Oh, no.
You can only dispel stuff that's affecting your unit. Or
Yeah.
it doesn't affect any units, basically, or it's it's a buff of the guy. So if it's affecting your opponent, like the other guy's units,
he would just do a normal one,
and he would just do the normal one. And then there's stuff for how victory points work. That basically you only get points for stuff you kill. If your stuff dies, you don't really get negative for that. And it's kind of just encouraging people to go in and kill stuff things, rather than sit back, let the other 2 guys attack each other, and then go in at the end. Because you actually got to be generating victory points the whole time, which I really like. And then so it's blossomed into. I've actually been able to put this together, this scenario of because I've got the ambush scenario set up in this campaign, right? And I was trying to work out because I've got a system where if a person doesn't have any territories, they're considered a wandering vagrant or a roaming vagrant. I've got potentially 2 guys coming in next week that neither of them have territories, and I'm like, how is this going to interact? Because the wandering vagrant can automatically ambush one of the other players, and I was like, well, how do they interact? Because can one then ambush the other? How does that work? They don't have any territories. So I've come with this. I was like, okay, I found these rules for a 1v1v1 game. What if I put it in as one vagrant ambushing one of the established players, and then the other vagrant comes on as the extra whole ambushing force from one of the fort, and it's just utter chaos. So I put it together, and I haven't play tested or anything like that, but I'm very excited to see how it works. And I'm so excited that I'm actually starting to go, what if I go back and because one of the effects of the campaign is if you have an odd number of players going on in that round, the odd player goes into a matchup of 1v1 and his smaller vanguard or rearguard list gets added into the attacker's army, and so they play a 2v1. And I'm like, what if there's an option there where the odd player, rather than just allied in, just interferes the whole matchup? So then I'm going back and I'm going to rewrite all of the scenarios to have a crazy melee version. Rather than
such a Skaven thing to do too,
rather than so I've worked out with the surprise attack where normally you've got a diagonal deployment where the attacker also has a small force coming in behind the defender's corner. I've got this melee version where it's still diagonal deployment, but instead of the attacker having a surprise attack coming on in that corner, the interfering player has 2 forces coming on from each corner, so the attacker and the defender both are getting recharged, and chaos. Chaos. I'm so excited by this. I'm so excited. I've been furiously trying to get these rules together.
Do you share them at all
Saturday?
Before the weekend,
I found these rules on Saturday, and I've just been
Which compendium was it? Was it just?
It was 2003. So one of the ones that has probably the one that has the least interesting rules in it that no one really.
Is that
looks
the one
at.
that had the steam tank in it? Or was that?
And then I was
2002 maybe.
That was 2002. They got reprinted in 2004.
Oh, okay, right.
But why I found out that is because I was Google. I was like, I gotta find rules for this. I really love how to do this, and I was googling it, and I found as you said, Web 1.0. I found a post from the Warhammer.Empire forum from 2006 that mentioned there were rules in the compendium 2003. I was like, fuck, I gotta go read these immediately. And when I found them, I was over the moon.
Especially now that we got SSL on it. Yeah, that's cool.
That's my hobby. So my next campaign round is this Sunday. So it'll be fun. I don't think I'll have all these rules done by then, but at least I've got the vagrant stuff.
Sorry. Do you share with this So they just rock up and you just give them the scenario. There's no prep really. Is that what generally happens? Or?
I depend. Well, the demon one was a surprise. But I have shared the vagrant one, so they're aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
I also can I just one other thing that reminded me. This is funny. So one of them was posting a photo of a empty base, and he was like, "I really want to run a chariot, but I haven't had time to put this chariot together. Can I just run an empty base as a chariot?" And I was like, "There's no way I'm letting you do that."
Yeah.
But I will. I've got the perfect solution, which is your lord's princess wants to be part of the battle, and if you want to run a chariot, you can have this pastel pink princess chariot as your chariot and run that. When the clock strikes 10:30 on Sunday morning, she'll be there and waiting for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh dear.
I'm just looking through.
That's so good.
That's my hobby.
That's good, man. Did you get anything done, Andrew? We played a game, which sorry, man. I was going to tell you, I am halfway through fiddling with it, and I'll get it out tomorrow. The game,
the editing.
Yeah.
No,
I put it all together. It's like 55 minutes long, so I'm actually going to cut it down a bit.
Yeah.
Because usually I try to get them under 30.
We're aiming for the 30 minutes. That tends to.
I didn't realize. Usually we don't record enough, and I was always like, Cam's really Cam actually does a lot of action ones when he does it. Let's try and do more of that, but I think we overdid it.
Overdid it. There were quite a few dice rolls, I think, on the camera.
Yeah. So I'll have to I might just skim back through it tomorrow and cut some stuff. And for some reason, your audio is way lower than mine. I'm like, fuck,
yeah, you were saying that. It was like heaps low.
We'll just switch it to our mics can go on left channel, right channel, and then the editor I do, you can fix it up. I just generally don't bother, but maybe I should from now on. Anyway, that's technical. But yes, we did get a game in.
Yes, we did. I was looking because I've got the tournament coming up, and I'm still stuck on whether to go. I'm back on the High Elf wagon a bit because, High Elf was coming out, but then I'm like, how can I just give up on XYZ? This project.
Cool. I do want to see it all done and painted. That'd be cool.
So I don't know. I don't know. I find elves are actually kind of cool, but
that's the one I was just looking for, Josh.
Yeah.
I got it.
And
almost forgot
right back at the beginning.
This. Yeah.
Well, the answer.
Peter Miller said, sorry, I'll just read it out for the audio people. Peter Miller said, just an old world fanatic question. I've been playing fantasy old world since the early 2000s, and I'm so baffled by the Chaos Dwarves' popularity. They were so rare; it was hilarious. Maybe that's what.
Is that a question or a statement?
Well, now early 2000s. So when was the big hat era though? Because I feel that was before that. Because I remember some of the cool. There's this one battle report I remember reading, and I used to reread it because I had the Lamassu or whatever, and the other two flying ones, and it was a cool, 4th, 5th ed battle report.
I was going to say 4th, 5th. I didn't see much.
They were pretty big, but obviously because they were all metal and expensive, I think they just never went too far, I guess.
But the answer to that, I forget who answered it. The question was, A, they were so rare, so you didn't see it a lot, and then B, for me, that's why I like them. The Forge World models I thought were so frigging good.
That's probably what booted them out. The Tumakan thing really made it go well, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were so good.
Aesthetic onto it.
Yeah. Like there's hardly any big hats. People love the big hats. I'm not a big hat fan, but they were just, I don't know. I thought they were real cool. That's why I got them.
Man, I did it again. People just say this all the time, but someone else said there's a rumor like they're going to reprint Tamakan or something at some point. I'm like, if they did, that'd be awesome. But would they? I don't know. But I'm not getting that.
Wasn't somebody saying the other day, was that Rob, that apparently Chaos Dwarf was coming out in Age of Sigmar or something?
I don't know. Maybe I've heard about that, but they came out they did some new ones in Blood Bowl. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see.
That'll stop them coming in fantasy though for a while if that's the case.
Yeah, but at least you might have some GW models, I suppose, if you needed
true.
some models.
Yeah. Did you do any other hobby stuff or actual like you just don't know what you're doing with X?
I was just
Z,
scheming.
Like,
I was just scheming.
Yeah,
I've been scheming so bad. Just every chance I got, I'm like checking rules and just trying to. Anyway, no hobby as such.
Yeah. No, I didn't get any. I was trying to get Empire rebased, and then I was making good progress last weekend, and then I didn't get anywhere last week, and then that's why I switched back to Tomb Kings for our battle report because I just want them all on the right basis, and I had pulled half the knights off, and I was like, oh, no, that's going to be too annoying.
Big job, eh? Such a big job.
But I have airbrushed. I think I saw it last week. Yeah, airbrushed the. Maybe I hadn't done that last week. I'd done. Now I've got like the Griffin ready to get painted and all that sort of stuff, and so I will just keep going on it, and get my normal Empire rebased and get some new, get some of the more outriders done, as well as my Imperial Griffin painted. And the good thing about the Imperial Griffin, the general dude, I'm going to paint him in a way that he's not specifically Avaland or Middenheim. I'll just paint him fairly generically. That way I'll just use him in either. But then as I go through Middenheim, I'll have to, make them more obviously blue and white. But I won't need to rush them then because I'll just have an Empire army that I can use and play around with. But what I have done, which I haven't got everything here yet, is I'm trying to use the airbrush more. So I've bought a few little, I don't know if they're gimmicky things, but just to try and keep my airbrush out more type thing. So I've got a different cleaning thing that I'm got some extra little tools that are going to make it easier to clean because I never had these little brush things. And then I've found a desk mount, because have you got the little cup holder type mount thing that you put the airbrush on and you can, blow it out into the cup thing, that thing.
Yep.
But yeah, it's, I'll use that obviously to blow it, but it also I wouldn't leave it in there during the week. If I sort of cleaned it and let it sit there, because it's just, you'd knock it off the table and stuff. But this other thing is sort of clamps on the edge of your desk and it can hold 2 airbrushes and I can just have it off the side. So I'm just going to do things like that, try to keep it out more and then work out where I'll put the compressor. So most of the time it'll be out, and then I just try to get better at working the best way to clean the thing as quick as I can so I can actually use it more. Because that's what I want to try to do. I started doing the horses for my outriders with the airbrush, with brown and trying to do that. And I want to try paint the arse of the Griffin airbrushed as well, and just try and layer it and paint it with the airbrush and just see how it goes.
Did you do your Necro Sphinx as well?
That's just that's just.
Oh, that's been like that.
No, I did. That was rattle canned. I've got I got a gold rattle can ages ago, and I still had stuff in it. So, and then that's just because the only thing I did with that second Necro is gold spray, Reekland, the new Reekland wash, because it's not as red. It's a bit more diluted, and then I just dry brushed Liberator Gold and a bit of that silver so that's good enough to make it look okay. And then I'll go back and actually put the actual colours on it. So I want to try and just get into the airbrushing more, because I just doing 5 or 6 horses I did, and they're not finished, but the horse bit's finished, and then I just need to come back through with doing the straps and stuff, and I'm pretty much done. And I'm like, it'd be cool to get better at that, because you could smash some stuff out pretty quick.
Definitely.
And then obviously the Beastman, that's if I can get good at that before then, it'll smash the Beastman out. Like what Danny said last week, just fur, skin, come back with metals, and then maybe even try the oil wash on them. And I'll just be interested to see how quick you can smash out. Because Beastmen, there's not much to them, is there?
Nah.
Yeah.
No, not many elements. That's what I found with the demons. Just crack through them because there's not much detail you need to worry about.
But you haven't been using the airbrush for colors like that. You haven't been putting contrast paints through them or anything like that.
No, it's too hard because it's all packed away.
Yeah,
that's what
I'm trying to work out. I'm lazy. I want it fairly quick, and I don't know. Anyway, we'll see how we go. But, yeah, that's the hobby, really. It'll come along. But yeah, like I said to Andrew, you missed out on this, Josh. Just when I did that, so I bought like these. I've got this massive desk here. I mean, Andrew's seen it. Like it's a long, big desk. So my computer, like where I do my work's here, but my hobby paint's right next to me here, and it's just a massive. It's expensive. It was like a black. Is it black butt? What's the wood? Black butt? Is that wood? Black. What's the Tasmanian black butt? Is it?
Well, black butt's a type of wood.
There's a black butt reserve in Newcastle.
Yeah, I know, but
black butt is a type of wood. Yeah,
is it? Yeah, it's like a hardwood. So it doesn't have drawers or anything on it. And then so what I did is I found on Amazon, like these little. They're not massive, but they're like little plastic drawers, and you can screw them onto the bottom of like these type of like anything. So now I'm adding some little drawers to that painting side. So because I've got all these, when you have random shit everywhere, like I don't know, clippers and all this sort of, and they just end up everywhere. And I'm like, if I could tidy it up and then got more room then for the airbrush. So that's been my hobby.
Shit. Like, that is my entire hobby space.
Yeah, so I'm trying to like clean it up a bit, so I can just put it in there and then pull it back out. Yeah, so we will see. Anyway, I was trying to do that, and then I like positioned the drawers where I thought, and then I moved my desk chair over to it to try and make sure I put it in the right spot, and didn't know my microphone cable was wrapped around my desk chair arm, and then ripped it out of the back of the microphone and broke the cable. This is 5 minutes before the live stream. No, it was 20 minutes before the live stream.
Yeah,
and I had to like try find a cable that fitted and actually could connect back to my computer, because otherwise my microphone was fucked. Like it totally broke the metal bit that went into the microphone, because I yanked my chair so hard, not thinking it was connected, that I nearly ripped the microphone straight off. It's like shit. So that was a bit of stress before the podcast. Yeah. But anyway, it's worked out okay. Now I just need to find a replacement, but all good. Fun when hobby breaks.
When hobby breaks.
Anyway, we are done. That sounds like
we're done.
We've finished all the topics for another live stream. Episode 80 next week. I'm not here. You guys are going to be chatting things.
Got Herald of the Old World coming
on. You worked
I've
it out?
I've confirmed with him. Yep, he's on next week.
Dono. Great.
Yep. He'll update us about the happenings in Aldium.
Yeah.
What's flaming? What isn't?
Oh, well, that'll be good.
Yeah.
I love actually listening back to an episode I wasn't in. Like, it's cool to, like, you feel like you got a whole new podcast to listen to.
Sometimes you guys say stuff and I'm like, I really wish I could disagree with you both right now. Or something.
Yeah. Not agree? Oh, damn.
That's funny.
That's funny. Anyway, cool. Yeah, well, you got 2 weeks. You got that, and then I'm back, and then I'm away again. So fun. Sorry, guys, but
that's all good.
You guys will handle the store.
It happens.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Cool. Anyway, let's wrap this one up. Thanks for listening to an Old World Fanatics episode and live stream. We're doing these monthly at this point. If you enjoy these weekly ramblings, please give us a 5-star review on your podcast software of choice, or hit the like, subscribe, comment like you've been doing all night on YouTube. Really helps us. And of course, if you're listening this far, I'm assuming you're already a Patreon, but if you're not, jump over to patreon.com, Old World Fanatics. Jump over there, and it really helps support the show. Up until, well, actually, I was going to say until then, I'll see you next week, but I won't. And Josh Andrew will.
We will.
I'll close out the stream. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Have a good week.
Thanks, guys. Yep.